What's going on, everybody? You already know what it is. This is Sheridan Sean Way with Church Music and Tech. And listen, I apologize already. I know some of y'all looking at the screen like, he's back. Where's he been at? I've actually been working. I've been working a lot. God has been blessing. Can't deny that. He's been doing his thing. I have been on the move. There's a lot of things that have happened. Hopefully I'll get to share those with you. Yeah, it's just been a lot of things. It's been a lot of great things. I have been preparing content for you guys. I did do a dope shoot with my brother, my friend, Jarrell Little. If you don't know him, matter of fact, let's roll the clip real quick. Let's roll the clip. Let's go. Do y'all hear him? Man, this dude is crazy. So we did an organ shootout. So I had the A100, I had the my Crumar Mojo, which is sitting right over there, and the Nord C2D. I had them all going through the same Leslie, of course at different times, but the same exact Leslie, same exact volume, all of that good stuff, same settings, and let Jarrell do his thing, just so that you guys could get a gauge on what it sounds like, digital versus analog. And if you were trying to make a decision about buying an organ, that'll help you out. Got some other videos planned. Today, I want to talk about this thing right here. Everybody talking about the Nord doesn't belong in church. And of course, I'm talking about charismatic churches. You know them churches that bump, shout, that... Yeah, that's what they do. So a lot of people say those do not belong in charismatic churches. Well, I happen to play in a charismatic church, and I've been using the Nord for the entire time that I've been there, and other places, in other events, other situations. For me, it's always the way that you utilize your gear, always the way that you set up your gear. It's always what you do with it, right? It has nothing to do with anybody else's opinion. And I want y'all to remember that. What you do on your gig or your situation has nothing to do with anybody else's opinion. You do you. If it's not holding you behind, then that's y'all's message for the day. But we're gonna move on to this board. I want to show you a few simple things that I do in my setup to enhance the sound that is output from this board here. Now, of course, I use a couple of other boards y'all seen in the previous videos. We're gonna talk primarily about this board and this board today. As you can see, it's the 73, the Nord Stage Compact, so it has less keys. It has drawbars on it, which is the reason why I got it. And it also is semi-weighted, so it's not the full weighted 88. Now, if you know anything about Nord, you know they come in, I think it's about 3 different versions. You have the semi-weighted, the HP, the Hammer Action Portable, and then you have the standard. So yeah, they all feel different. So those people who are coming to you and saying, well, this Nord feels like trash, it's this, that, and the third, you got to make sure that they playing on the right one, because everybody ain't playing on the right one. I'm just saying. So respectively. But this is the Nord 73 key Stage Compact. It has the drawbars, semi-weighted, and it has less keys. All right, so let's talk about a couple of things on this board. Of course, you can see on the screen, I already have something loaded on here. So as you can see on the screen, that's already loaded and ready to go. But we're gonna build from the ground up, okay? So, and I'm gonna take you through what I would use as a usual stack for let's say a Sunday morning. Okay, so for a lot of songs that have a lot of color, that have a lot of strings, organ, that have Rhodes that are post-produced, I need a lot, and I only have 2 hands, so I utilize what I have. When you turn on the board, of course, you can see you have panel A and you have panel B. The thing that I always use I utilize the dual keyboard function. So on the front panel, you can already stack organ, piano, and synth with the Nord Stage. You can do it with the Nord Electro D or 6D too. But for this example, we're using Stage. You can stack these 3. When you engage both panel A and panel B, you can stack organ, keys, synth, and organ, piano, synth again. So all you have to do that is hit the A and the B at the same time. And they light up. They both light up and one is flashing. The reason why one is flashing is this is the panel that you can make adjustments on. If you have a sound on panel B that you want to make adjustments on, you just hit B. B will flash. In order to disengage this stack, you want to hit them again, and it goes back to one panel. All right. So we're going to go back into that stack. And if you noticed, the synth is still engaged on both. For this, I have strings on the bottom. So we'll start there. The strings is actually on a pedal. So I'm going to do a little bit of switching here, just because I only have one pedal. I usually play with two pedals at church, but y'all need to know that. So with the strings, I have them on a pedal. So when I move the pedal, y'all can't see the pedal moving, but y'all can see this moving. All right. We'll talk about how to set that up maybe in another video. But I have it set up on a pedal. So if I want to play, and it's good because I can fade it in and out when I want to. And I don't have to do anything else. I can play with both hands, and I don't have to worry about taking this hand and taking that bottom away from this chord to turn this down. I can do it with my pedal. That's cool, right? So you can do that with both panel A and panel B. I'll show you guys how to set that up in another video. But I have that set up just for panel A. So panel B, if I'm playing something and I don't have my strings, this actually has a little step, like a little pad to it that's a little brighter than those strings. So I reserve that for, for a manual touch. So if I'm just playing and I want to add strings on top of that, still controlled by the pedal. Take my strings out, and it's just that pad. So now I can do this. I'm holding the sustain and the chord. Yep. And now we're back down to nothing, but I still have my strings sustained. Y'all see that? So of course you can't see the pedal. But yeah, that's one of the things that I utilize. But like I said, let's build from the ground up. So we already have the strings. So I want to put a piano on top of this. I'll go to panel B because I already have the piano set up. One of the main pianos that I use is a Grand Lady D. I like that piano because it almost sounds to me like the Kurzweil micro piano, kind of like that bite. And yeah. So yeah. And I've added the strings in there. So look, with my pedal, I've added the strings in there. Yep. All right. So sometimes to make the layer a little thicker, I'll add some sort of electric piano. In order to do that, I'll do that on a different panel. Of course, we have the Grand Lady D on panel D. Now, it doesn't matter which panel you add it on, just the way your workflow is your workflow. So we'll talk about that maybe again in another video. But for this, I use the deep timbre. I like that electric piano. And then I'll dial it in to where it gives it a little bit of weight. And if you notice, I have the auto pan on and I have the chorus on. I'm going to turn the chorus off and make it dry, but I like the auto pan because it establishes a difference between the piano and adds a little bit more of a sound spectrum to the sound. Yep. So, and then you still have the strings. So you can add those in. And if you want to add that super pluck, you can do that. So let's play with everything up. So right there you have 4 sounds. You have the strings, you have the pad, you have the Grand Lady D, which is the piano, and then you have the deep timbre, which is the EP. Now, if you are in a church that likes organ, that likes that organ texture, then you can add that in. What I usually do with that, and I'm going to kind of trade off here because I usually use 2 pedals. I only have 1 pedal here with me today, but I'm going to trade that off to this organ. So I still have the super pluck up. I do not have the strings up. When you take the control pedal out of the back of here, you have to manually use it. You have to manually turn it up. So for the sake of using the organ, I'm going to switch that pedal. Now, one thing that I need to let you guys know, for whatever sound you want to use, you have to have that panel up. And it's very, very important that you're on the right panel for the organ, because the organ is the only instrument that the drawbars will remain no matter which panel you're on. So in order to adjust the drawbars, you have to be on the panel with the active organ. All right. So like, let me show you guys. So don't have anything active on here, just the piano. And well, matter of fact, let me turn those off too. So the organ is not active on panel A. So I can move drawbars, I can hit Leslie, I can do all of that. The Leslie will change, but the drawbars, the vibrato, all of that won't change unless you have the organ active on that panel. Since the organ is active on panel B, it shows you on the screen which drawbars you have engaged and how far engaged they are. So you can hear a little organ and it'll adjust. As soon as you pull the drawbars or adjust the drawbars, it'll move. Watch. It moves to wherever you have it. So I'm on panel B, engage drawbars. Got my pedal up. I'm gonna adjust this volume. All right, so, but if I'm here and I go to panel A and I change my drawbars, it's not gonna change. It saved my preset, but when I change my drawbars after I go right back to that panel, it's going to immediately change to whatever setting I'm on. I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll do a whole thing on the organ so that we can make it make sense for you guys. All right, so let's now add all the sounds in. So we have the organ already on, got it on the pedal. We have the super pluck, which is the pad, got that on. We got the strings, which we've disengaged the pedal from, so we have to manually turn up. But I use 2 pedals on Sundays. So I have 2 expression pedals, one for organ and one for whatever synth sound I'm using. So we got pad, organ, strings. Now we have deep timbre, and then we'll add piano. So you have the electric piano going on auto pan, and you also have the organ that has the Leslie. So the Leslie's going in a circle, and the electric piano is going back and forth, left to right. With the Leslie, change the drawbars. I can even turn the rate on the EP up. Yep. So, and if you noticed a couple of things, I played organ up here because I like how this plays, but this is an RD800. It's my favorite weighted keyboard. It has the best weight that I've ever played, in my opinion. Let's let that be clear. But I like this semi-weighted keyboard kind of feels like an organ. So nothing changes here. when I play it here, the touch sensitivity is great. It's just a semi-weighted, and I really don't like playing piano unless I have to on a semi-weighted board. But if I end up having to play on just this keyboard, I try to get some practice in because the feel is a little bit different and it will translate things a little bit differently if you're not prepared for that. But yeah, that's this keyboard. That's how to make a stack on this Nord. And this stack, the way that I've stacked this is the very reason why I say that this keyboard can be appropriate for your charismatic church, because you can pretty much do anything with it. Now, I expand on what I've done here. I expand on that a lot in my own personal setup. Sometimes I use my Phantom over there to run stems. Sometimes I do a lot of stuff. So we'll go through those things, but I hope this video has been informative for you guys. If you have a Nord Stage 3 or even a Nord Stage 2, you can do that with this. Or you can do what I just taught you with those boards. You want to go through the synth sounds because Nord, I don't know if you know, has some crazy sounds in here. Yeah, they have some great pianos. So yeah, we'll go through all of that. But I wanted to give you a brief on what you do, how you set up your board for your charismatic church, which is the type of church that I play in that everybody says Nord ain't for. Got to disagree with you on that. Well, listen, that's all we have time for today. Why don't we come back and do some more videos on this board? But I need you guys' help. I need you to tell me what you want to know about this board. How do you set this board up? How do you do this? How do you import sounds? This, that, and the third. I actually have a couple of friends that actually have sound packs for this board and other boards. We'll talk to you about them in future videos. In the meantime, in between time, you already know what it is. This is Sheridan Sean Way, Church Music and Tech, and we out.